But yeah, like financially it was great, but it was just kind of like, I don't know, that's not what I got into it for. So like I've done all the things, right? I've done the classes, I've done the rah programs that Keller Williams has you do. I've done the open house thing, so I know like what all that BS is all about. And so when I see guys like, and now the new thing is like this, right? Doing social media, doing YouTube, and nobody is, I don't want to say nobody, no one I've found is being like, not in my market area anyway, is being strictly honest and like serious about what your job is. And I just find it disingenuous when people get and pay for their Facebook ads or their Instagram ads, and they're like, "We just closed this property, just closed a year ago, and it's like an outlier property, and you only sold 4 that year, and you're saying how you sell all these homes on this Instagram thing," and I'm like, "Just be honest, man. Just be honest about what's going on." You have a better story to tell if you're being honest than if you're, you know what I mean? And like, oh, here's what so I quit after a couple of years. I just retired. Business was slow. I didn't want to get into it. And then I met a guy that got me really pumped up. Now I'm ready to go again. And now we're doing this. Like, that's honest. That's a story to tell. When you're trying to like lie about how great you are and you're not that great, then you don't have a story to tell. You're kind of bullshitting your crowd.
You have no authority.
Yeah, like who's going to trust somebody that's not willing to say something that's uncomfortable? And I was watching some of the work we've done, and some of it's uncomfortable, right? Like we've had some feedback on some things that it's really funny to see like where fun, not haha, but interesting, funny to see like where people lie on what side of the fence that they get upset about on some of the things that we've said. But I also am getting feedback from people that go, this is exactly what I need to be hearing. Nobody's talking about this. No one knows. Like I got a message on Instagram the other day and said, thank you for putting this out. It's going to help those of us moving here with the softer landing. I thought, wow, what an interesting way to put that. And I like that because that's the kind of value that I'm trying to add, right? Like I'm trying to get you here or have you move to a new neighborhood if you're already here and have a softer landing, have an easier process. And I know that that's my skill set. Like I know I'm good at that. I know I'm going to get you into that new neighborhood, into the home that's going to fit your needs. And it's going to be a softer landing so that it doesn't feel so jarring and upsetting, because it's one of the top 5 things that happen in your life that are really emotionally stressful. Like it's up there with, getting married, having a baby, buying a house, right? I think is third. And yeah, it's like a top 3 thing. Getting divorced, I'm sure, is 3. Number 1, I don't know. Hopefully that never happens to you, but it's one of those things that I'm like, that's the job. That's the job. Somebody that can get you through that, protect you, make you look good, and put you in a good financial situation without too much stress. That's the advisor you want working for you. And how do you know you can trust the person that's in front of you if they're not telling you the truth in some of the social media and the new thing that real estate agents are doing with the social media and the YouTube? So I think, like at first when we put some of that stuff out there, and some of it, there were the small shorts. So it was part of a bigger conversation. And I think a lot of people maybe missed that. And that's okay. But it made me a little uncomfortable on the first day. I got to be honest with you. I was like, oh no, people are going to like me. But this isn't worth doing if we're not doing it honestly. If we're not talking about the really uncomfortable things. And everybody's going to have a different opinion about those uncomfortable things, and that's totally okay, as their right to have that opinion. I would say, though, that let's start a conversation more about it, about what that happens. Speaking of which, so I want to talk about good ways to know that you're picking out a good real estate agent versus not a good real estate agent. First of all, it's like, can you trust them, right? But there are some questions that, are we doing all right?
Yeah, we're on.
Okay. Should I look at the camera or should I look at you? Does it matter?
I mean, I'm right here with the camera.
So does it look okay?
It looks
all right.
okay.
All
Maybe rotate your chair like other way. So you're pointed more towards, yeah.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're pointed towards this third. Like I've got you framed on.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, right there's great.
I had a mentor tell me once, what did he call it? Clearing the table. Like everybody has their, like if you think of a table of like all of the coins and jewels, like a pirate like just dropped a, treasure right on the top of a table, right? And everybody likes to have their bit of like, we have this much social reach, or we have fill in the blank. I do open houses 3 times a week and blah, 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 blah. I've got the best sign. I've got a team of 8 people, whatever the case may be. And he would say, it's always best to try to clear that table so that you're going to have a real conversation with people, which touched me because my first brokerage was with, I don't want to say, I guess it's probably not good to say the names of the brokerage, but it's a blue one, you know it. And they had a system where it was all about like doing open houses. And I was like, all right. I mean, I didn't know anything. And I realized like their whole system for open houses was basically to get the percentages of a buyer coming in your open house and buying your home is so small. Like that's not going to happen. So the reason why agents do open houses isn't to sell the seller's home. It's so they can get more leads as buyers. And this guy came up with an entire program on how to develop your business, your lead business through open houses. And again, totally okay with that, but be honest with your seller of why you're doing it. Give them the data so that they can know, like, look, I'm going to do open houses. The likelihood of me getting a buyer for this home during your open houses is slim to none. I'm doing it to build my business. If you're okay with that, then go for it. But it was a weird thing. And there's a guy out here right now in Utah. We started that class together. He went all in. They told you to like buy like 30 signs and put them all over the neighborhoods. He did that. He's got now a team of 10 to 12 agents. They all have 30 to 40 signs with his name on it, and they all do open houses every weekend. So if you're in the Salt Lake Valley, some in the Utah County, you're seeing his signs. And he's done a great job to build that pipeline for himself. There are many different ways to get clients as a real estate agent, but I would just hope that most real estate agents are being really honest about how you're getting those clients, because I think that people think that real estate agents are in the business of selling their homes. And in my experience, real estate agents are in the business of selling homeowners on them. That sounds kind of shitty, doesn't it? I mean, brokerages, they're not in the business of selling homes. Brokerages are in the business of selling real estate agents. The more real estate agents they have, it's their business model. The more real estate agents they have, the higher quality real estate agents they have, the more homes that will sell, and they'll get a percentage of that sale. So when you're picking your advisor, and let's say he's got a team of 6 people, and each conversation with that advisor sounds like it's on a track that you've heard before, it's because he's selling you. And the selling your home part is part of a system that he developed, or she developed. And either it's an effective system or it's not. So again, there's no problem with having a 6-person real estate group. There's no problem that they use scripts to have conversations with you because they don't know how to have a real conversation with you. So they use scripts to make you do this a lot and then sign on a piece of paper. And then when you go to bed that night, you go, do we even know who that guy is? You don't. You don't. When I moved on to another agency that was they're the color red. You know them too. There's this guy that would do scripts every morning with new agents. And he'd talk you through how to say things to clients, buyers and sellers. He was really good at it. He was really good at it. But I didn't hear an authentic word out of his mouth the whole time I've known him. And he does a lot of volume, so his business works for him. And it felt to me like really salesy. And like you're not having a collaboration with people. You're not adding value for them beyond getting them to say yes to your system. And he gets people to sign on the bottom line, and they sign, and he sells homes. And I thought, well, I could do that. But I realized real quick I couldn't. I don't do the script thing well, as you can tell. I'm chatting away. And, but by good or bad, it's just, I think people want to have be able to have a real conversation with their agents, with their advisors that is like, hey, we're 2 weeks in and we haven't had any showings. And rather than them tell you some script to get you to drop the price, to be able to say, yeah, here's the information we have at hand. We started probably 3% higher than we should have. And if you want to start getting showings and not miss your window of a buyer because the absorption rate's at this level, we should probably move down to this right here, just having a real person-to-person conversation. You get into this script world. And I don't know, it'd be interesting to see what the return of client retention is on that. Because if people are working through those stuff, it's like a Zillow lead. They don't have very good client retention. I don't care how great your CMA, contact management program is. If you aren't having a real human interaction with those people and helping them have a soft landing through their experience, I don't think they're using you again or having their friends use you again, because it probably felt really salesy and crappy. Getting you to just go, and they get you to say, man, some of the sales programs that they have for real estate agents out there, you would be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't. I was. But then you have really great ones. So here's the question one of my mentors asked. He said, next time you're in a listing, or you want to talk to a prospective seller, ask them if they've thought about using somebody else. If there's anybody that they would be interested in as an agent, and say, don't ask them. Tell them if there's anybody else you'd be interested in if you're not using me, I'm going to give you some names of people that maybe you should use for this market area that I know are high quality realtors that do the job right, that I know that you'll be taken care of. So if we don't match up well, I'm a chatty guy. I'll sit and talk all night long. And if you're not a chatty person, or you don't have, if you're a real quick, and I'm analytical too. So if you're not a numbers-based person and you just kind of want to be told what to do, that's okay. That's cool. We're probably not going to be a good fit together, because I like an understanding of the data sets I'm putting in front of you. And I'm going to try to explain to you, I'm a teacher. I used to be a teacher in my younger days. And so I'm going to try to explain to you how that goes. And if that personality style doesn't fit for you, then I want you to have an experience with somebody whose personality style might fit for you. And I know was loud. So I'm going to put people in front of you that I've already, that I have relationships with, that I know have done a good business their entire careers. And I think, I mean, I would invite any homeowner out there who's thinking about listing with somebody to ask the agent that they're meeting with. If you have a meeting tonight or in the future, ask them, is there anybody out there that you would suggest if I don't choose you? And see what they say. Ask them if who's a better agent than you, and see what their response is. You're going to learn a lot about them on how they respond to that. Because I know, like off the bat, here in Alpine and Highland, if there was somebody that you would use and not me, I'd tell you to go call Breezy Anson right now, as I know Breezy. He lives around the corner from me, and he's outstanding understanding of market fluctuations, and he's got a great marketing program, and he does a good job by his clients. So, and I have no problem saying that right off the bat. And I think that when you ask certain uncomfortable questions to real estate agents when you're in those meetings, it takes them out of their script that they were learning every morning. And I would rather have those conversations because I'm not uncomfortable in that arena. And I think a lot of guys that are trying to sell you rather than sell your house, they're really uncomfortable with that. Another great question I like is, when have you in your career made a mistake, and how did you reconcile it? When did something go wrong? Tell me a story of a time when something went wrong or not like you had planned, and how did you reconcile that? Because as a homeowner, I kind of want to know, or a buyer, I kind of want to know how you're going to deal with that. Did we miss some paperwork somewhere? Did you not get a phone call into me in time? Was there a piece of information I needed to know? I think when you ask those types of questions, you're going to have an insight on how that person negotiates. You're going to see where their pain points are and how they would react in more difficult situations. And there's a series of those types of questions. I should go back and kind of go through that, because I think they're helpful to get to know somebody, the real somebody, not somebody who's just been practicing their morning scripts every day. I'm probably going to get a lot of really angry agents at me for that.
Bring it on.
Huh?
Bring it on.
I just think it's important. I mean, it goes the same for appraisers too. Like, I'm sure every single agent that's ever agented a real estate transaction, and every homeowner that's ever had an appraisal, has an argument about how bad their appraisal was. You know when we didn't have any arguments about how bad appraisals were? From 2004 to 2007. Everybody loved appraisers. Oh, it's the appraisers coming to tell my home's worth $1.5 million, when last week it was worth $750, right? Nobody hated us then. It's only when the market is shifting that they start getting a little bit sensitive about things. And also, those appraisers need to answer those same questions. When did something go wrong? When did you miss something, and then how did you handle it? And I think most appraisers, most agents also try to do the best job that they can, and they try to reconcile any issues that might have happened as best they can. But I can tell you this, here in the state, there are, for every complaint that goes to the state on an appraiser, there is 30 that goes in on real estate agents. I'm sure that's probably because the number of appraisers versus the number of agents. It's probably that much difference, but there are a lot. And they are as small as that guy didn't put the right notation in his marketing piece, just missed it, kind of a thing. To me, that's like a rolling stop sign. Like, I don't think people mean to do things like that. They just kind of mess up. To one of the big things that's going on right now that I read about is people stealing seniors' homes from them by getting them to sign away on a trust deed and then saying you'll get to stay in your home and we'll take off the note that you owe on it. And then they turn around. I don't know how it's done, but they like turn around and basically just evict the people out of their homes and take their equity from them. I don't know what kind of fraud that is. Like, I don't know how that goes, but I had read that in a circular and I went, what kind of like horrible person do you have to be to do that to anybody, let alone a senior citizen? But so they go all over the place. All right, do we have any questions? I've rambled enough.
Yeah. Let's why don't we cut there?
Okay.
And then turn that into its own thing. Let's transition it over into the Reddit questions.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be easier for me to like set a hook too.
Yeah. So if you could summarize everything that you just said into kind of one final closing thought, hit people with goodbye.
I got a comment on the Instagram thing and said they were upset about the one of the LDS comments, and it's only because he listened to like the first few seconds of it. He didn't listen to the glowing review I put about how great it is to live around Mormon people and how much I appreciate it. And then he said like, be better. And it just made me laugh. And so I would say, if you're looking for a real estate agent and you are trying to find the cream of the crop, ask for better, expect better, and it'll show up. Because there are, like, I don't want to, you're going to have to edit this thing like a wizard, because I don't want to come off like I'm bashing on real estate agents. The main point is, as a homeowner or home buyer, you're going to want to find out some questions and they're not trap questions. They're just questions you're going to need to find out who the best fit for you would be to be your real estate advisor. Somebody who is being authentic with you and making your choice from that, rather than making your choice because their script got you to nod your head 3 times in a row and say yes. It's way more important that you have some questions for them locked and loaded so that you can make a real decision on who's going to help you get a soft landing going through a real estate transaction, somebody that you can trust, that just doesn't see you as part of their flywheel. So whatever I said in that first 20 minutes that fits that. Okay, Reddit question, go.